All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chick from Granit Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show, as I come to you each and every single weekday, giving you the biggest news coming out from the Arsenal. So we're going to go through some stories today. I'm going to comment, give my opinion on them, as I always do. Do me a favor while I do that. Please do stick a like on this video. I'd appreciate if you guys do that. It's always a great contribution to the show that's easy for you guys to make, and it helps the show get noticed. If you're new to the show, please do hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I come each and every single day to you with something. The only day I don't is a Saturday, and even then, I'll probably be doing something for the members going forward. Well, speaking of which, I will be setting up a membership. That will be happening this weekend, so keep an eye out on that. And I'll be putting lots of constant material. The only difference between the stuff you get on Granit Eagle Eye and the stuff you'll get on membership is, you guys know Chig. How well do you know Chris? We are one and the same person, like Clark Kent and Superman. But not a lot of people know Chris. I'm going to lift the curtains up a little bit and show you a little bit about me in that membership. I think that is pretty much it. As always, the super chat is open. You most certainly don't have to do anything to do a super chat, but I'll let you guys know. It always helps the show when you guys help out. So please do feel free. Like I said, you most certainly don't have to. All right, let's get into the stories. Let's talk about this story. When I initially read it, I read it about 4 hours ago. I'm still working, so it hadn't half of my attention. I was just doing a job advert, it's just one of the little perks of being in HR, doing things around recruitment. And a story popped up, and I was like, Lacazette exchange with Atletico Madrid. I was like, yes, right, that's right, you gosh damn right. I know what my story is going to be. You guys know what I thought when I saw the story. Didn't even finish reading it. All I saw was Atletico Madrid and Thomas. I was like, yep, let's do that. Let's do that. Started reading the story, talking about, Lacazette has an agreement with Arsenal that if he doesn't make the Champions League for a third time in a row, that he will be allowed to leave the club. Great, not a problem. That was all I saw. And then someone told me, bruh, you might want to read the story properly. And the Thomas in question weren't Thomas Partey. It was Thomas Lemar. Yeah. Arsenal are being linked with a swap deal for Alexandre Lacazette for Thomas Lemar. The same Thomas Lemar who moved to Spain in a £53 million deal or €60 million deal, and has not registered a goal or an assist in his time in Spain. The man is now 24 years old. Yeah. Now, some of you guys will be sat there, particularly some of the more seasoned subscribers, will be like, hold on, Chick. It wasn't that long ago that you wanted Lemar. Yeah, because anyone that watched his Monaco form saw that he was a fantastic player. Very creative, very confident, good crossover ball. I don't know where that Lemar has been left, because it certainly ain't in Spain. We'll be getting a very shot, very unconfident player. And for all the reservations that we have about Lacazette, at least the guy on the odd occasion scores a goal. Bringing in Lemar in is questionable. Let's put it that way. Now, from my perspective, I still think the player is a decent player. In spite of everything I just said, I still think he has something about him. I still think he could offer us something. I must admit, out of everybody that is available out there, he wouldn't necessarily be in my first 5 options, purely on the basis that he had such a bad season. And we'd be getting a player so shot on confidence. And even if the talent is there, it will probably take a while to get it out. But then sometimes it's all about team fit. For all those people who think that Pepe has had a flop of a season, he came into the team on a lot of confidence on the back of a really red hot season. Lemar, maybe it might work the opposite way. We'll come off a really short season to come in and absolutely kill it. I still think he'd be a decent enough player. I just think it would be a waste to attach Lacazette to this deal. In my opinion, if we're going to let go of a striker who on the odd occasion at least gets goals, we need to get someone in return who's equal to or better than. Now, I suppose I should concurrently talk about Thomas Partey. So Arsenal haven't abandoned that idea. In spite of another story I'm going to talk about a bit later on, there is a belief that Thomas Partey, for the little money Arsenal do have, they are trying to push for Thomas Partey deal. That is the deal that they want to get over the line. That is Arteta's number one guy. And obviously, after last week and Emery coming out and almost somewhat lifting up the curtain, the belief is that the Arsenal board themselves are very keen to get at least one option that the manager would like, as opposed to what they want. So they're very keen to push through this Thomas Partey deal. Obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, Partey currently has a release clause of 50 million euros, which is about 44.5 million pounds. Which prior to the pandemic, it's not a crazy amount. I think even Arsenal could afford it. Since the pandemic, it's become a little bit hazy as to whether or not we actually can afford it, as crazy as that sounds. Obviously, since then, we know that we have at least one midfielder who's very keen to leave, Lukas Herrera. And Thomas Partey represents, to me, a hell of an upgrade on Lukas Herrera. So it kind of seems to be all systems go. And unbelievably, crazily, the man actually wants to come to Arsenal, which seems to be rare because we're used to big players who want to leave the club. So this is quite a surprise. At least he's not come out and denied it. It's been a few weeks now. I ain't seeing anything that says Partey doesn't want to come. In fact, so much so, Essien was talking him up. Essien is almost pushing Arsenal to sign him. I'm starting to get suspicious because Essien was a Chelsea guy. So why is he so keen on Arsenal signing him? So, but he was talking him up today. I was like, blimey, what is going on? So there's a belief that Arsenal want to push through this deal. And they're trying to conjure up every dime that they possibly can. But they feel that the Lemar deal is obviously they're long-time admirers of Lemar. For anyone, again, who doesn't know, 2017, supposedly, they had a bid of... sorry, not 2017, was it? It was 2018. Apologies. Supposedly, they had a bid for Lemar turned down. No, it was 17, wasn't it? It was 17. It was 17, yes. Because Alexis left a year later. 2017, they had an offer for Lemar, which was in the region of about 90 million pounds, allegedly, which at the time wasn't rejected by Atletico Madrid, but the player actually turned down the move, given the fact that he had kind of resigned to the fact that, oh, okay, I must be staying at Atletico Madrid. Obviously, since then, Alexis stayed until January and then left on a swap deal for Mkhitaryan. Now, if you ask me, who would I have preferred, Mkhitaryan or Lemar? Even in spite of the season Lamar's had, I would have said Lemar. I honestly would have said Lemar. I don't know. For me, this one, I kind of rate this alongside the Patrick Kluivert story. There's a lot of reason I didn't talk about that Patrick Kluivert story yesterday, but I'll talk about it today. I just feel like I quite like the player. I just think the price that they're asking for is too much. A Lacazette, for example. And they need to make up their mind as to what it is they want, because initially they didn't want Lacazette. Now they do want Lacazette. It's like, what's going on? Obviously, from our perspective, the Lacazette, I think Lacazette was always under pressure to be sold anyway this summer. Coupled with the fact that supposedly he's keen to play Champions League football himself, coupled with the fact of the most recent Coventry, the most recent controversy. Blimey, forgotten how to speak. So as a result, these stories are being stoked up heavily. I don't know if there's anything in this Lemar story. In a way, I kind of hope not, because in the last couple of days, I think we've been linked to somewhat weak wingers. When you think about this Portuguese geezer from yesterday, this Rafa Silva guy, and then now today it's Thomas Lemar. It's kind of like, what? And why are we trying to buy a left winger anyway? We should be focusing on giving it to Saka and asking Saka to play on the left-hand side. So there are a lot of questions that I do wonder about this whole wing situation. What do you guys think? Let me know and leave it in the comments below. And speaking of wingers stroke attacking midfielders, we've also been linked with Patrick Kluivert. Roma are also trying to be creative, as I imagine a lot of clubs are trying to be creative this transfer window. And what they're so desperate for Mickey, what they've basically said is, look, is there anyone that you like? Now, initially, I spoke last week about a potential swap between Mkhitaryan and Under. It seems as though Arsenal have slightly called their interest in that Under guy, and what they're looking for is Patrick Kluivert. Sorry, not Patrick Kluivert, Justin Kluivert. If only it was Patrick Kluivert, Justin Kluivert, Patrick Kluivert's son, as kicks ball, and supposedly he's quite good. I have my reservations. I don't think I'm particularly in love with his stats. They don't blow me away or anything. It's kind of like, all right. Like, to me, I don't see anything particularly special about him. I think he's decent enough. I think there's potential there. I do wonder how much potential there is. I don't know if he's more working his dad's name or if he's actually good. Again, does anyone know? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. But to me, it's funny because I'm looking at people in the chat room now discussing Justin Kluivert, right? I see some people say he's good. Some people say he's crap. It's kind of like, what is it? Eric, my apologies, my brother. I've literally just seen your donation. Wish you had membership capabilities. Big up, Chig. Eric, hold that thought till Saturday. Hold that thought. But thank you for your donation, my bro. Sorry, did I miss anyone else? Someone told me to just check. That's what I did. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we go with this, with Justin Kluivert. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Let me know. I'll be honest. I'll be the first to tell you guys. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to give you guys the wrong impression. I genuinely don't know enough about Justin Kluivert to be able to make any kind of conclusive kind of impression there. So I guess only you guys will be able to tell me properly. Anyone who's at least close to the situation will be best placed to be able to tell me whether or not he's good or not. Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I'm not going to talk about Kroku today, but there's a lot of rumors saying that we are very much in pole position. I mean, they are absolutely Whoops. Sorry about that. So yeah, they are absolutely convinced that we are about to make this signing. So we'll see what happens. But in terms of Crocker, supposedly we are on the absolute verge of securing that deal. So we'll see what we will see what happens. There's also some stories about Mikel Arteta. Obviously, losing Lukas Herrera wasn't something he was planning for. Mikel Arteta knows that the agent has stirred some trouble before, prior to him coming around. It was around this time last summer that I noticed every single transfer window, my man seems to open his mouth. A lot of people will say he's doing what an agent should do. To be honest, he's stoking the fire, doing what doing what an agent should do. But yeah, apparently Mikel Arteta is a little bit. I think supposedly there's a lot of stories saying that Mikel Arteta is essentially very much caught off guard by this whole Lukas Herrera thing, and he is potentially open to the deal, but he wants to speak to Herrera to find out exactly what the issue is. So watch this space, and let's see what happens. Is there any other story that I've missed out on? So no, I haven't put any stories on my community post. Guys, please just slap a like on this video. Let me talk about this damn Granit Xhaka thing. So Granit Xhaka has decided, there's nothing left to sort out with the fans, and he's seems to be quite content staying. I feel like he is almost trying to make a play for another contract. I think Granit Xhaka after next season has one more year left of his deal, or maybe he has one more left. I actually don't know how long he has on this deal, because he arrived in 2016, didn't he? I want to say 16. It's 220 now. No, he arrived in 2017, didn't he? So he probably signed a 5-year deal. So I would imagine he's got a couple of years left. It'll be interesting to see if we do. I do worry. I do feel like we're not going to sell anybody, because it was only today I saw a story about Mustafi saying some stuff about how Mikel Arteta has been brilliant. So all these players are all of a sudden piping up now it comes to contract time. These little poor players, the ones that you actually want to get rid of, they're lauding praise on the manager in the hope that perhaps it will produce a new contract for them. No, you lot bounce. I don't give a damn what the manager's doing. But it'll be interesting, because I feel like as fans, the people who want Granit Xhaka, Mustafi, and those lot gone, I think we're going to take an L somewhere. I think we're going to take a bad L somewhere. I think it will be Xhaka, but what if it was a double L and we kept Xhaka and Mustafi? Because statistically, and if Arteta is the type of manager that pays attention to statistics, Mustafi's your guy. If you don't open your eyes and you just pay attention to statistics, Mustafi is your guy. So it does worry me that Arteta might do some madness, and keep what's his name, and keep Mustafi. But what do you guys think? Leave in the comments below. And what do you think about Granit Xhaka? Have you guys forgiven him now? Let me know. It'll be interesting to see if you guys have kind of moved on from this whole idea of being angry with Xhaka and, let bygones be bygones. If he's to stay, we should just get on with it. I've seen a lot of people say that. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. All right. Very short one today. Not all that much stories are out and available. I've literally just been scanning it as I've been talking. There isn't that many. Please do stick a like on this video, first and foremost, if you haven't already. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. Quick plugs. Combat show this Friday, 9:30 as usual. Make sure you catch us. Chick Flicks. I uploaded something and then somebody told me it was corrupted. It was. I'm going to do a live episode of the review that I spent so much time editing. I'm pissed. But I'm going to do that this evening. So expect the Last Dance review to pop up on Chick Flicks. Link to that, to both of those shows are in the description below. I'll be back again tomorrow, as always. So make sure you catch that. Don't get me wrong, I ain't going just yet. I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes. I'm going to hang out for a bit before I get up out of here. Then I'm going to go FIFA crazy this weekend. You know, there's no wifey this weekend. We're still on lockdown, so it's not like I had to do barbecues or anything. So I may as well just go FIFA mad. So I'm going to be doing a few streams. I'm going to do a number of streams for the membership. I'm going to do one free stream for Granit Eagle Eye. That will drop on Saturday. My free Cooking with Chig episode will drop on Saturday as well. So keep an eye out for all of those. And I've got another episode of Cooking with Chig, but that will also drop in the membership. So you membership motherfuckers are going to get treated. You're going to get treated. By the end of the weekend, you should have a number of material to keep you going for a couple of weeks. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And yeah, just keep it locked. Keep supporting. I know I bang on about likes and shit. It all helps. I'm so passionate about this project because one thing people keep asking me, am I bothered by the way other people grow and the way I don't? No, I accepted the format that I do this and the personality that I am. I can't grow in the way Lee grows. Lee very much puts himself out there, and people love that. And I have an understanding that I am a little bit more diplomatic in my approach, and in doing so, I'm going to grow a different way. I completely get that. One thing I do like is that the people that do turn up for me every single day ride hard for me, and I appreciate that. So if I ever bang on about likes, yes, I'm desperate for this thing to grow, but I have a different aim to anyone else. I have a different ambition to anyone else. So when people ask me questions about my growth versus Lee's, which someone did yesterday, it doesn't bother me. I just have a different path. And luckily for all of Lee's perceived faults by you lot, he's a wonderful friend in that respect. You know, he's not the sort of person who, oh, because he's on X level, then he treats me like a pauper. That's why no matter what, I'll always have respect for that boy. Because he easily could. He easily could. I remember there are some more well-known YouTubers, a couple of them that you do know, and a couple of them you know I don't like, who were a third of Lee's size, and they weren't treating people with the same sort of respect. So I always have respect for it for that reason. So don't tell him I said. Don't tell him I was this nice. Fuck that. Tell him I was dissing him. Don't tell him I was this nice about him. All right. All right, then. Let's go into the chat room. Now I've had a deep moment. Let's see what you lot are saying. Please do slap a like on this video. You see Black Scorpion in the chat room. That is my combat show host. Show him some love. Make sure you catch us on Friday. Let's see what we're doing. That's, by the way, that's another brother of mine, Mr. Black Scorpion. That's another ride or die there. Thank you, Capone. I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that. All right, Liam. I'll see you tomorrow. Who is the biggest banter SC club? Oh, Arsenal. Arsenal without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. Arsenal's realist. Chig, have I seen Baby Driver? I have. I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie, but I know other people like it. What about Moussa Diaby and Ibrahim Dalilo? Right, so I commented about Ibrahim Dalilo yesterday, But you're completely right. I completely forgot about Moussa Diaby. I like that kid, man. I like that kid. I do. I really like that kid. Young, adventurous, very, very quick, very, very nimble, very, very confident. Operates mainly on the left wing, if I'm not mistaken. But to be honest, give him a free roll and let him go. He's that sort of player. He's the sort of player where if you're a defender, and I speak as someone that once upon a time played as a defender, if you're a defender, you would be terrified. He's that type of player. I very much like him. See, for me, forget a Lemar. That's the sort of winger I would like. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be a nice competition for someone like Saha for me. For someone like Saka for me. That type of winger, because Saka, I don't think Saka is. Oh, how can I put it? I don't think Saka is as technical a dribbler as Diaby is. I think Diaby is more of a dribbler. Saka is more of a runner, which is unusual because Africans like displaying their skill, but Saka's just not one of them guys. He's more of a I'll run at you and cross the ball type of geezer, which is fine. I actually like having that though. I like having that option. I like having that complement. So for me, for all the wingers that we've been linked with, actually, he's the one that excites me the most. And he's young. He's super young. Doesn't look like he'd cost a bunch of money, but he does look like a lot of people are interested in him, and I can see why. All I would say is I've seen him before, so I've not done this, but make sure if I was you, go and have a look at something to do with him today. Go and have a look at I don't know, YouTube. I hate advising people to do that, but just so that people can appreciate Mr. Diaby's skills, go and have a look at him. Obviously, he plays for Bayern Leverkusen, so he's played at a good level before. Yeah, was previously at Paris Saint-Germain, although at youth level. 20 years old, super young, not the tallest, but so nimble. The only thing I worry about with him is that you do feel like to join the Premier League, he's going to have to bulk up a little bit. Like he's quite a slight person, like quite a slight young man. But I honestly think could step up and do some bits. This season, he has scored 6 goals. I'm trying to find out how many assists he's got. Goals is always easy to find. I can never find his assists, and I never know what site to trust when it comes to this goals thing. I'll try these lot. Hold on. Sorry, I completely forgot about this geezer. I had the intention of speaking about him. So he scored 6 goals this season, 7 assists. But bear in mind that's in 28 appearances. And he's 20 years old. So it's not like this geezer starts every single week. He's so good though. So good. So good. But I guess just physically is the only reason I worry about him. But don't be surprised if we don't get him, if in a couple of years you hear him do bits. So I think Arsenal should jump on that one. See that one for me is the one that I'm more excited about. So yeah. You say 5 assists. The thing I'm looking at says 7 assists. It says 5 assists in the Bundesliga, yes. But you also forget about the Europa League. Brother, can't test me with stats, man. I trust my team. Trust me on that one. I love it when people say, no cheek. 5 assists. No. 5 assists in the Bundesliga. There was 2 assists in the Europa League. All right, guys, I'm going to come into the chat room now, see what you lot are saying. Chig, you should play his subs on FIFA. That would be way risky. So funnily enough, a week ago I was going to buy him for my FIFA team. But I thought to myself, let me see how he goes. So he's kind of in my transfer hub at the moment. So I've not bought him, but I was thinking about it for sure. Whatever happened to Pullers? Who that? I know who you're talking about. The Spanish defender we once had, right? Julio, I believe his name was. I think he got sold last summer. I'm fairly certain about that. Oh, okay. I see Mike has already answered you. He's kind of, yeah, kind of like Pepe. You're right. I think so. Just lots of speed and lots of skill. Just imagine both of those guys on the wings. Fullbacks would be terrified to play us, you know. I know you guys don't give a lot of Pepe a lot of credit, but I think he's more versatile than Pepe in the sense that Pepe comes in one way. I think he shows a lot of skill to do it, but generally, if you're a left back, you know what Pepe is going to do. This kid, you don't know what the hell he's going to do. I saw him playing on the right-hand side. I've seen him play on the left. The left is his strongest position. I saw him the other day running down the middle. That the kid has a lot of ability. At Moussa Diaby, I was very excited to see that story this morning. Very, very excited. Arsenal should have kept Vlad Dagamore. Yeah, Vlad wanted to leave though. Vlad wanted to leave. Don't blame him. Needed some game time. I see Miss Molina is in the house. Cheers for the love. Have 3 COVID tests, all getting negative results. Was a mega weight off my mind. Oh, well, that's good news, mate. Well done. Very, very good news. Big up to Gary. That's another loyal sub from my man. And it's good to hear that he is well. I see my favorite Aussies in the house. It's going to be hard to sell as the situation is still very unclear. I think you just need to crack on, bro. Because here's the thing, I don't want us to dither any more than we should. You're right. The situation for everybody in sport is still very unclear. But you also can't afford to hang around. You just have to get over there. Memberships are out. They'll definitely be out by Saturday. I'm going to try and set it up tonight, but I'm not going to promise you guys and tell you it's going to be out tomorrow. It will definitely be live by Friday. That's one thing I will say. By Friday evening, UK time, it will definitely be live. By the way, apologies if you can hear my Tower fan. For those of the people in the UK, it is hot. You guys already know this. It's like 27 degrees, which for Americans, I'm trying to think what that is in America. Late 80s, I think. Mid to late 80s. I think that's what it is. So yeah, it's hot over here. Just all of a sudden this week, just decided I'm gonna briefly. God just decided to briefly hit the summer button. Chig, am I doing a watch along this weekend? I am. So I will be jumping on Lee's watch along. I've already told Lee I'll be jumping on his watch along on Saturday. So that should be fun. Uh-oh. I see Capone asking Lee a question. Does that mean he's in the house? Does that mean trouble is in the house? Hold on. Let me scroll up. Capone, I can't see him. He must be lying to me. Damn it. Did he hear me? Did he hear me being nice to him? I don't want that. I don't want him hearing that shit. Nah, he ain't here. He ain't here. He ain't here. Elliot, you, my man, like getting my attention with your messages. Oh gosh, you keep saying the same thing until I see it. Yes, Elliot, I've seen your message. Great show. With all these players being linked with us this summer, how many players do you think we could pull off? Good question. With Arsenal, honestly, perhaps, and I listen. I like Coogan. I watched that AFTV thing, and for like a large majority of it, I was like, what is this geezer talking about? But the only thing I agreed with about what he said was it is so hard to predict what Arsenal will do each summer. You hope for the best. We as Arsenal fans usually expect the worst, and Arsenal try and aim for somewhere in between. So my advice, somewhere in between. On the subject of Xhaka, arrogant, slow, not technical, too many errors, leads to goals, too many errors leading to bookings, barely contributes to attack, has the ego the size of an elephant. Yep, that's Granit Xhaka in a nutshell. Very well described. I have nothing else to say. But I'm glad you said it, because if I said it, it would be an issue. Oh, he corrected himself. Chig, if you was a manager. How did you get me and Lee confused? We are literally the opposite ends of the scale. He's skinny, I'm big. I'm black, he's white. um, would you go for Karamakenko or Celtic? No, I wouldn't. I know who you're talking about. I think he's good. I wouldn't get him quite yet. I'd like to. With the Scottish League teams, you've got to be a little bit careful about the players you select. Because yes, I think it's very clear to anyone to see that Usman Edouard is easily the best player in that league. That's why so many teams want him. But outside of that, I'd be much more selective. It's just the same way that Kieran Tierney was easily the best defender in that league. You could just see there's a gulf in quality. But you got to be careful outside of these things. So I like the Scottish League because, in the sense that it prepares players for things like weather. But that's about it. We don't know football, Chig. Xhaka is the main player for somebody. We're blind. Yeah. Man like Chig called him Karamakenko. I know you guys are going to laugh. I know who you're talking about. Let's put it that way. You know me and names, man. You know me and names. With all the links with quick wingers, believe we are trying to recreate the Liverpool blueprint. Thoughts? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing, Elliot? Let me ask you that question. Because the last time I checked, Liverpool were challenging for the league last year, won the Champions League last year, are running away with the league this year. So I ask you, is that a bad blueprint to follow? I don't agree it's the Liverpool link blueprint. Though. I don't agree with you. I think it's more the Leicester one. Just trying to find a bunch of players, all a very similar age, have them all grow up and almost blossom at the same time, in the hope that 2 to 3 years' time, we are serious contenders for the league. That's the aim. Whether they do it or not is a completely separate debate. All right. Any other questions? I've done some real OT. VP, where you at? Do 5 more minutes. I'll do 5 more minutes and I head up out of here. Um, yeah, I like both for different reasons. I like Deluded Gooner's stuff, even though for whatever reason, well, it's been dumb reasons we've not done a show together. Dumb reasons. I'm not even going to blame him. I just think it's just a personality thing. But there's been dumb reasons why we've not done a show together. But I like his. I like it. He's clearly very knowledgeable, particularly in the youth scene, which I quite like. You guys know I quite like focusing on the youth element side of things. So, um, I find that quite interesting. And expressions, I just think he's hilarious. He reminds me of one of my boys. So I find him genuinely very funny. Look at my co-host asking me a question. Let me answer my combat show co-host the question. Hey Jig, what is your favorite Marvel character? Truth be told, it always was Iron Man. Just because I love the way Robbie Downey Jr. played him. I like Spider-Man, but it was always Iron Man. As a kid, it was Spider-Man. But my favorite character as a kid was a DC character, and that's Batman. Batman was always my favorite one. I know a lot of people would have expected me to say Black Panther or some shit. I'm not even going to pretend like I knew him as a kid. I didn't. I barely knew about Marvel characters as a kid. And as an adult, I like Chadwick Boseman, and I love the movie. I'm a bit com-see-com-sar about the character, though. I don't think my only criticism about that Black Panther movie was they were so focused on making the girls look good. I think they forgot about making him look good. So he only had a couple of fight scenes where he looked boss. Other than that, so I'm not really yet connected to the character. I think that's one thing I want them to focus on a little bit. Every manager loves Xhaka. He has to be doing something. So here's the thing. So Titus, this is what I will say. This is one thing I will say. And I know it's going to seem like Mesut Ozil bashing, but this is one thing I will say. With Mustafi, I don't rate him. I don't like him, but I can understand if a manager wants to keep him to a certain extent. You know, I don't rate him. I don't like him, but I can understand if a manager wants to keep Granit Xhaka to a certain extent. I don't rate him. I don't like him, and I don't understand why Mesut Ozil's being kept. There is no stat, there is no highlight that backs up that decision. At least with Mustafi, statistically, he's supposed to be a good defender. So if you are someone that cares mostly about stats, Mustafi is your guy. You know, with Granit Xhaka, I've said this before and I'll say this again. His reaction time is poor. His intelligence is poor. But the one thing I'll give that guy is positionally, he stays in that spot. He didn't. Someone pointed this out the other day. He didn't always used to be like that. But this season, the one improvement I've seen out of him is that when he plays that anchor spot, he stays there. He now doesn't drift. He stays there. That's the criticism I have about Lukas Herrera, by the way. So I can sort of understand. So I don't get it. I don't get it. The man is a myth. He's a myth. Chig, do you think France were robbed of the 2006 World Cup? Yes, I do. Can't believe Ola's actually arguing about this rice. All right, one more question and I'm out of here. One more question. Do you know what I mean, Elliot? Every day I tell myself that. Every single day. Every single day I tell myself that. One more question, guys. While you guys work out the question, just remember, Combat Show, Friday, 9:30. Don't miss it. Every single Friday we come with you. We come to do it. Tonight I will be dropping an episode of Chick Flicks. Make sure you subscribe to that. This weekend I'll be setting up my membership for this channel, so make sure you join that. It'll be one tier. It'll be very simple. It won't be overly complicated. It won't be crazy expensive. I think that's it. And the one thing I would say about the membership, by the way, just to kind of defend it, even if you're not that interested in having more content, the only other thing I'll say is it's your way of supporting the show. People always ask me, believe it or not, Chig, I never get to catch your live streams. Is there a way I can actually support you? and support the show, this is it. So if you have that inkling, you want to support the show, or you're not, and I know people like this as well who are not that showy. They don't want people to know that they've donated to the show necessarily, but they want to support me. Again, this is it. This is your way of doing that. All right. And I'm going to try and think of every idea possible that Lee hasn't already thought of 3 times to bring you a very interesting membership experience, I promise. And please do subscribe to Georgie's OnlyFans, which I'm actually starting to believe he has. Stays in one spot for 4 months with us. Guna Eagle Eye stays in one spot for 4 hours. You got to elaborate what you mean by that. If you elaborate, I'll still answer. If you elaborate before I leave, I'll answer. Alex George, we have too many players that are not too bad. Not too bad doesn't win you the league. 100%. But it also depends. And for me, this is where, for me, I'm not interested in anyone else for this particular statement I'm going to make. For me, if Arteta wants to win me over, this is how he starts to do it. How ambitious are you? Don't appease people. Don't start begging Mkhitaryan to stay. Don't start begging Mesut Ozil to stay next year. Don't start begging Granit Xhaka to stay if he wants to go. Don't start begging Mustafi to stay. Actually make some ruthless decisions based on the fact that these players I've named are not good enough. That's where I start to be impressed. Start, mind you. You still got to actually get the results. Okay, so you're talking about Xhaka. Let me read that again. Stays in one spot for 4 months with Arteta. What happened before that? Bro, for me, that's like saying, oh, well, I used to get maths questions wrong 4 months ago, but I get them right now. What happened before that? I'm not going to punish someone for learning from their mistake, my guy. Someone else made a similar point before and said, oh, he does that now. What did you do 18 months ago? I don't give a damn what you did 18 months ago. The whole reason I criticize Granit Xhaka and Mustafi in particular is because they don't seem to learn from their mistakes. If they're learning from their mistakes, even if they learned today to stop making mistakes, okay, let's see what happened. I mean, don't get me wrong. For me, it's happened one too many times for me to trust it. But I'm not going to punish anybody. If we made a signing tomorrow, he constantly makes mistakes for the first 3 months he's here. I'm not going to say, well, he's now learnt from them, but what did he do before that? No, of course not. I want to trust that he's made that improvement. But with Xhaka, for me, I've seen too many false dawns. So that's why I want him to go. With Mustafi, I've seen too many false dawns. That's why I want him to go. But like I said to you earlier, just because I'll give Xhaka that one thing doesn't. I mean, that's not a weakness. that's just me being honest. Yeah, I don't want him to be here, but I have at least identified one thing I like about him. I should get it on a t-shirt. I know. See, if I do get, for those people who keep asking me about merch, that is one of the words I will say. That's one of those things I'll have. All right, guys, I am off out of here. Enjoy your evening. It is hot, guys. It is hot. So do what you can to cool down. Drink plenty of fluids. I'm finishing on time so that AFTV can go in peace and you guys can go watch it. So make sure you enjoy that. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be back again tomorrow. Take care. Deuces. Peace. Actually, I wonder. Let me finish on this note. Will it allow me to finish on this note?